All right, let's be honest, the business world loves a good rise and fall story. It's like a Shakespearean tragedy, but with more spreadsheets and fewer tights. Our protagonist today, a modern-day tycoon, someone who took the tech world by storm. But like a sugary breakfast cereal, it was exciting at first, but ultimately left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. This isn't just about Schadenfreude, though. Oh no, my friends. This is a cautionary tale. It's about ambition, innovation, and the intoxicating allure of success. But spoiler alert, it's also about the dangers of unchecked ego and the importance of, not being a massive jerk. We'll dissect the meteoric rise of this tech titan, someone who seemed to have it all, the groundbreaking ideas, the billions of dollars, the turtleneck collection that could rival Steve Jobs. But then, as quickly as it began, it all came crashing down. So buckle up, grab your beverage of choice, I'm partial to a lukewarm mug of English breakfast tea, and let's dive into the wild world of big tech, bigger dreams, and the even bigger crashes that can follow. Our story begins, as these stories often do, in a humble garage. Our protagonist, let's call him Mark because originality is overrated, was a coding whiz kid. He spent his days hunched over lines of code, fueled by caffeine and the unshakable belief that he could change the world. And you know what? He wasn't entirely wrong. Mark had a knack for seeing the future, or at least a profitable version of it. He developed an app, a seemingly simple concept that tapped into the social anxieties and narcissistic tendencies of the modern human. The app was an instant hit. It spread faster than a conspiracy theory on Twitter. Suddenly, Mark went from coding in his pajamas to being interviewed on financial news channels. He traded in the garage for a sprawling Silicon Valley campus, complete with nap pods and kombucha on tap. Investors threw money at him like he was a wishing well-made of $100 bills. Mark, it seemed, could do no wrong. He was the golden boy, the disruptor, the guy who couldn't stop saying synergy in board meetings. But as we'll soon find out, even golden boys tarnish. Mark's company, which we'll generously call Innovate, became synonymous with innovation. They released product after product, each one seemingly more ubiquitous than the last. Mark was hailed as a visionary, a genius who understood the human need to document every avocado toast and sunset. The money kept pouring in. Innovate's stock price resembled a rocket ship fueled by pure hype. Mark was richer than he could have ever imagined. He bought islands, he funded space exploration startups. He probably even had a solid gold toilet brush, because why not? He became a celebrity CEO, the kind who graced magazine covers and gave TED Talks about changing the world. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. The once idealistic coder was replaced by a cutthroat businessman, more concerned with profit margins than making the world a better place. Section 4, cracks in the facade, whispers of hubris and downfall. Remember that whole not being a massive jerk thing? Yeah, Mark seemed to have missed that memo. Whispers of his ruthlessness began to surface. He crushed competitors, exploited user data, and treated his employees like replaceable cogs in his money-making machine. The public, once enamored by Mark's boyish charm and promises of a better future, started to see him for what he had become. Just another greedy tech bro, more interested in his own wealth than the well-being of others. And then the scandals hit: data breaches, privacy violations, accusations of manipulating elections. The hits just kept on coming. Mark, once lauded as a visionary, was now the villain in his own tech thriller. Section 5, the Icarus paradox, flying too close to the sun. Remember Icarus, the dude from Greek mythology who flew too close to the sun and melted his wings? Yeah, that was Mark. He had flown too high, too fast. On wings of arrogance and unchecked ambition, the fall, when it came, was swift and brutal. Governments launched investigations, users fled the platform, and investors jumped ship faster than rats on a sinking cruise ship. Mark's carefully constructed empire, built on a foundation of code and questionable ethics, began to crumble. He was called before Congress, forced to answer for his sins in front of a panel of unimpressed politicians. It was a public flogging, a spectacle that played out on every news channel and social media platform. Section 6, lessons etched in silicon and tears. Mark's story, like all good cautionary tales, is ultimately a tragedy. It's a tale of what happens when ambition trumps integrity, when the pursuit of profit overshadows all else. But it's also a story filled with valuable lessons if you're willing to learn them. Firstly, never underestimate the power of humility. Success can be intoxicating, but it's important to remember that it can be fleeting. Don't let it go to your head, because the higher you climb, the harder you fall. Secondly, ethics matter. You can't build a sustainable business on a foundation of deceit and exploitation. Sooner or later, the cracks will show, and the whole thing will come crashing down. Finally, remember that true innovation isn't just about making money. It's about making a positive impact on the world. Use your powers for good, my friends, or risk becoming the villain in your own story.